Why am I on gentle parenting TikTok?
Because it's cool to see how it doesn't work in real life.
I learned on gentle parenting TikTok, instead of being like, oh no, that's dangerous or you could hurt yourself, it can lead them to being anxious or worrisome all the time. They say you're supposed to say, what's your plan here? Is this a good choice? What's your plan?
Whatever. Psalm, you about to crack your head open. Get down. We're back. Hello.
Welcome to
So What Now? We could be a girl group.
We totally could. We harmonized.
We did.
So
what now? They left. We just lost all of our listeners. I love when podcasters can really sing. Like, I love when Lex busts out like singing from Poor Minds.
I didn't sound like Lex just now? Is that what you're saying?
No, you didn't. Huh. But I think you can. I think you're a good rapper. Go ahead. Give me so what now.
I can't. They gotta pay for that.
Next time.
Pay for that.
Oh, well, guys, when we start this episode, I want you guys to make sure you check in with yourselves. How are you feeling? But also, how are you feeling, friend?
I'm feeling real good. I'm a podcaster now.
I know that's right.
Feeling regular. Like, I feel good. I'm starting to feel settled.
You got to add it to your bio.
I know I got to add it to my bio, yo. I'm excited. I love coming at Hi Hello Labs every week. And
yes.
Recording.
No, you're going to be obsessed coming here. So this is our home base here at Hi Hello Labs in Orlando. We're Orlando girlies, Florida, full step and chopper city.
Florida girls.
What? Y'all jits out there. We grown women. What's up? So we are in Florida. We had a cold front for the past 2 days.
Yeah.
I turned on my seat heaters, the car heater, not the house. I love the house cold. So I was excited about that. But you couldn't tell me it went winter.
Yeah. My feel good this week is about the weather, something to do with like the weather in Florida. Like, I'm loving it right now, but we'll talk about that later. But I'm feeling good. Like, how are you feeling?
I'm good. I think that it feels natural.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie to you.
What?
I still have when I said it the first episode that we did, I didn't realize how much I am fearful of that.
Of me leaving?
No. You ain't going nowhere. No, just of like conflict with our friendship. And I want to make sure that while we're doing this podcast, we're constantly checking in. Like, how do you feel? What are things? I want to make sure that's a thing that we do. And I feel like a lot of people should do that with friends, period.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, have your check-ins. How are you feeling? Where are you at? Like, is there anything more that I can do for you? Yeah. Or is there anything that I'm doing that's pissing you off?
I appreciate that, friend.
I do, because I don't want it. I don't have space in my life for conflict or feeling like icky with someone, because I just want to.
Especially when it's like a good friend, like somebody that you love.
Yeah. How are you feeling?
Do you think that fear also leans to like so many people that you were close to, like as far as like family wise, that you're not?
Yeah. Because it's like, once you're toxic to me or I'm not able to function because I'm constantly anxious, I got to remove myself. I mean, I'm going to have the conversations first, which I feel like now, instead of waiting until I'm feeling that way, I just want to check in and be like, hey, we good?
Yeah.
Like, how are you feeling? Doesn't mean that there has to be a conflict. It's just like, how are you feeling? Is there anything in your life right now you want me to be conscious of? Yeah. Is there something that right now, this is sensitive, don't touch on there, because I will troll, I will push, and especially because I want good for you.
Exactly.
And someone I love, I will push on something. Yeah. I'm like, but then let's try this instead. Let's try that.
Yeah, I don't want you to be like afraid to give me like feedback on like how I can improve or how things can be better, though, for fear of like creating conflict in our relationship. I think it's just all about how we deliver things to each other.
I don't have any legit worries about us potting. It's just because I've seen it.
Yeah.
But like I said, I need to focus on the positive.
You're not scared you're gonna like try to tell me something, I'm gonna like bust you in your shit, as they would
fearful.
say.
Fearful. Right? I am shaking in my heels right now. Like, I actually want to leave.
Because I be fighting.
The Lord.
Fighting demons. But I'm glad you're feeling good. But don't be anxious, friend. I love you.
No.
It's going to be fine.
I love you too. You're so pretty. Like, I'm actually doing this with somebody that I really fuck with. Yeah. Try not to curse. But like someone that I really love. It's so hard. I don't know. I just feel like there's an emphasis in like, fuck. If you're like, you're just so pretty. It's like, you're so fucking pretty. Yes. That made you beautiful.
Exactly.
I could just say beautiful.
It took it to the next level.
Yeah, it does. It just gives you a oomph to it.
I get it.
Okay. Sorry. I think this was supposed to be your check-in.
No, this was your check-in.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
It's good.
Okay.
It's good. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling settled. I'm happy to be back. Like, and now I just got to like create like new norms so things don't get crazy because I still have like my day job. I still got to like focus on balancing that. Like when I'm like wanting to be here or thinking about planning stuff for here and stuff like that. So that's going to be a balance for me to figure things out. But overall, I'm feeling good. Yeah.
I love that. Because at least in the community of podcasters that I'm in right now and that I've been in, that Shit I'm 30 kind of grew with, everyone now is full-time entrepreneur.
Really?
A full-time content creator. Yeah. No one has a job. And I love that right now. You're like deep in the corporate world.
I know they're trying to get me. They're like, oh, you want to be a director? Like there's director roles opening up and stuff. And I'm like,
how much more money?
But like I don't want to take on more I don't want to get more into it. I want to get out of it, but I can't tell them that. Right. You know what I mean? Like I can't be that transparent at this point because that makes stuff weird.
But would you take it? And I mean, you can always quit.
No, I don't want to take it.
Okay.
I do not. I don't.
You're comfortable where you are.
I'm comfortable where I am, and like I just don't want responsibility. I want more money. I want a couple more dollars. I could always use a couple more dollars, but I don't want a couple more people coming to me.
Asking you for that.
Having to support more people. Like, I just don't.
I've always watched your corporate journey, and you've worked at both of your jobs for like ever. You've only had 2 jobs since I've known you.
I'm a loyal bitch.
You are very loyal, except to the podcast, but till now. Till now. She ain't gonna know. She's loyal now to So What Now. Shit, I'm 30. She want now. She's staying. But I've watched you and you show up to work day in and day out. I mean, I did too, but I knew that that wasn't for me.
Yeah, I know.
But I love watching people like Paola and the people that I used to work with. And now I'm realizing I don't know that many people with 9 to 5s.
Do you think that you could be a good entrepreneur if you weren't good at the 9 to 5? Like if you didn't have a good work ethic there? Do you think that
I had a terrible work ethic?
You did.
I was awful.
I would be like, you're doing what on the clock? You everything left early for what?
For no reason.
A whole nother day. Then like when it was like I think it was like closing month every month at the accounting job where like you had to work like these different hours.
Crazy.
You were like, no ma'am.
Sometimes I would leave. I'd be in the car. I'd be at my desk sleeping, or I would be working on my YouTube. And that's when I first started this job. And I had to work sometimes at like 80 hours that week. So it's 1 week out of the month. And I'd be like, this is ghetto. I hated it. But you don't complain. Like we be in the car driving to Miami and she's like on the phone taking calls. And I'm like, wow. But I do love that just because it's representation of you travel. She doesn't post about it.
Yeah.
But I know when she's out of the country because the phone goes bam, bam, instead of like ringing. So I know she's out of the country. So you still do all that with a corporate job.
But there's good and bad to that because there's like some comfort because I could just like do it with my eyes closed. Like you said, like I'll be in the car with you on the way to Miami, like taking a call or like running a meeting or something. And so there's comfort that like I can do that and still like do these other things that probably stops me from being more fearless like you and just like jumping out there and just like let me do the entrepreneur thing or let me do this or let me go for this other thing. So there's some pros and cons there.
Yeah. I mean, I remember missing that like $3,000 check every other Friday that came in right after tax. It was like, this is nice. And I knew it was coming no matter what. That is something but I think within these years I've developed it where I know on the first of the month I'm getting these invoices paid.
Because you built an empire, bitch.
I did, but it took a long time. But I do want that. I didn't think about it till now. That representation.
I love you. I did.
I did.
I am a mogul. I am a boss.
Not a mogul. Addie said I was a mogul. I said I got one business. One.
Kind of 2 at this point.
2. You're right. And we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Okay. But let's go into our motherhood segment. So let's talk to the mamas or the aunties or the dog moms or, everyone mothers and some type of, I think women have like a nurturing. So let's go into our motherhood segment.
Yeah. So I want to talk about this week. I want to talk about like parenting and social media because like we're living in a totally different world, right? Like social media is everywhere and it really is shaping how we like bring up our children. Yeah. It influences how we mother. You watch all these mommy vloggers and like you have an opinion one way or the other. They swaying you to buy things. They swaying you to gentle parent. That's a trend that I'm on gentle parenting TikTok right now.
Because you ain't got no baby. That's
why am I on gentle parenting TikTok?
Because it's cool to see how it doesn't work in real life.
Learned on gentle parenting TikTok that you're not supposed to say, well, they recommend like when a child does something well, you don't say, I'm so proud of you, because it makes them feel like they need to make you feel good.
Shut the fuck up.
You're supposed to say, you should be so proud of yourself.
I'm going to use both because, nigga, I'm proud of you. So I'm not supposed to my kid now, I'm proud of them. Now they're going to grow up with this like awful like trauma. My mom was never proud of me. She really wanted me to be proud of myself. I was never good enough for her. Like, no.
They were saying like when the kids are like hitting each stuff, they say soft hands instead of no hitting. Or
a
like
hard head makes a soft ass. That's where I go.
Yeah. Or if they're like climbing on the playground, they said like instead of being like, oh no, that's dangerous or you could hurt yourself, that makes them it can lead them to being anxious or like worrisome all the time. They say you're supposed to say, what's your plan here? Is this a good choice? What's your plan?
Whatever. Psalm, you about to crack your head open. Get down.
So
for me, it's like, hey, instead of this, I do a lot of instead of this, let's do this instead. Mm-hmm. So I do gentle-ish. Because like sometimes I'd be like, all right, well, then stay your stupid ass there. Like,
Carla, I love you so much, and I say this in the kindest way. I've only seen you gently parent when they be asleep. You be like, look at them. I love him so much. Look at him, my little angel. I give you the world. Last night, Psalm was farting next to you.
I said, bro, you stink.
Yes.
You smell disgust. Like, stop. He was refusing to go poop because he didn't want to stop playing.
To him like he's like 30. Like,
I talked to him like a grown man. Hey, you stink, bro.
Yeah.
That's one thing I don't do. I don't baby talk him. Like when I'm loving him, I'm like, give me kisses. Well, let me smell you. But most of the time I'm like, hey, put your pants on.
Yeah.
Right now he'll be putting, he'll help me. You don't need help.
Yeah.
Sit on the floor and put your own shoes on.
I could totally see myself like going back and like.
And gentle parenting?
I probably would have like saw that and be like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this wrong.
Okay.
Like, because when they put it from the aspect of you're going to make your child an anxious person.
I feel like those TikToks are like fear mongering.
Yeah. The most extreme thing to me was like, if you're running late, you're not supposed to tell them, oh my God, we're running late. We're going to be late. You're just supposed to be like, just let it happen. Because that's
now we raise
that's another
kids.
Thing that will make them anxious. Actually, they say you just need to start earlier. You just
need
to
a little anxiety in your life.
So you won't be.
You need a little anxiety in your life.
You need to be a little anxious.
You just a tad bit. Your body needs to be like, hey, you about to lose some money. You should be anxious about that.
I see what you're saying. So, like, let's talk about your style when it comes to social media with, like, your kids having access to social media. Like, let's talk about, like, Ayana and Michaela, actually.
Vastly different. So, Ayana had what was back in the day called Musical.ly. That was before TikTok.
Musical.ly became TikTok, if I remember correctly.
I believe so. Mm-hmm. So, Ayana, I'm an open book. I share everything I've been sharing on Instagram since we only had like those ugly filters and you would post like your food on your paper plate.
I remember that.
Do you remember that?
I remember we used to filter everything on TikTok, like these extreme grainy filters and stuff to make the picture look old.
But think back before that because you're older than me. So think back. Back MySpace days and Facebook days when we used to go out one night and post 100 pictures.
200 over here, honey. I had my digital camera. I'm not exaggerating.
I know you were an influencer.
Right now, 200 pictures for my 25th birthday.
Shut up.
No editing, no nothing. Raw dog it. Put that little card in.
One of the pictures, but the next one, you're cute. So they're going to get the before and after. Like, they got everything. We weren't. So I've been in social media. But you were too. When I met you, you had like a shit ton of followers.
I was on Instagram from like day one. I was on Instagram from back in the day where you used to build your following by like you would meet a girl, like you would meet her on Instagram. You had to go in her comments and comment because there was no DM. Yeah, and you'd be like, "Hey, girl, you want to do a share for a share?" Like you share each other pages to get exposure to each other's
and
followers.
Then a follow for follow. Yes, but share for share was huge. And you going to talk about what you and Addie used to do at night?
No, that was not me and Addie. That was Addie and I won't say the girl name because she didn't give me permission to say this. But that was them. They used to do risque pictures late at night and then delete them before morning. No, that was not my tea, honey.
By like thousands.
They had more followers than me, so they was doing something right.
And that was a thing back in the day. That was like 2011, 2012-ish time. Yeah. You would post a risky picture, and it wasn't even a naked picture. It was like just cleavage.
Little cleavage.
Oh,
that's there? Oop, how does that get there?
I wasn't around for that, and I used to delete every time I get in a fight with a boyfriend or social media, I would delete my social media, or I would get it deleted during All-Star time. When I dated an NBA player, oh my gosh, I had to delete I got my social media deleted back then. Yeah. When they said I had AIDS and I was a man, I was like, rude. What? Girl, my Twitter was awful.
I could never be famous.
It was because they put
that's
me,
scary.
Remember they put me in an article with Rihanna and J.R. Smith? And then me and him.
I didn't know you were a celebrity like this. I do not remember.
I wasn't.
This is pre us knowing each other.
No, when I dated the NBA player.
Okay, maybe you had 2 boyfriends. Wait a minute, are we getting into?
It was like 6 months.
Because, friend, you was in a committed relationship when I met you with.
Wait,
do we need what's the next step? No,
maybe you weren't around for him.
I was not around for him. I've only been
right.
Around
it was right before that. You're right. Dang. Oh, that was a long time. That is good. Mm-hmm. I've lived a long life, and that was a long time ago.
Yes, you've experienced some things apparently. You were in an article with Rihanna.
Yes, actually, me and Riri are besties.
I wonder if you could find that.
I probably could. Yeah. And then Mandy exposed me too. Because Mandy had a blog by that time, and she's the one that introduced me to the guy. Whatever. The point is that I've been around social media for a minute now. At least, we're about to go into 2015. So, since 2010, 11. Mm-hmm. So, that's about 15 years now. So to me, it came natural for Ayanna to be on social media. Her and I would do a lot of videos together. I did expose her quite a bit. Now, once she got a little bit older, there were times that she's like, you just tell my business or you're telling too much. And I'm like, whatever. So she did get to a point where she didn't want me to talk about her. I think it was mostly podcast wise, but she still loves. Till this day, she tells everyone that I'm only famous. And I'm like, famous where? I would love to know where I'm famous. She's like, so you're famous because of me. Yeah. They love me. And then we'll go out places and people will see her like, Ayanna, I follow your mom because of you. And then it blows her head up. And I'm like, why y'all lying to her? All this content I give you and you want to go and blow her head up?
I'm the star, damn it.
Me. But I do understand that there has to be a limit to that because with Musical.ly, there would be some predators that will come into their pages and try to talk to them. Yeah. And with Snapchat, with locations and things like that, and kids are dumb. Yeah. They're not dumb. They just don't have common sense.
That's that gentle parenting experience. Right there. Kids are dumb. You're so gentle.
I am a truth teller, okay? And we find me one parent out there that hasn't said their kids are dumb. Oh my god! At a certain age. Oh man. But yeah, I can see where it can become a thing. But I feel like you can ask your child how comfortable they feel with it, and that's part of gentle parenting, having communication.
That is very much a part of gentle parenting. Yeah. So with Michaela, I didn't allow her to have social media. I feel like I gave her social media like in the 11th grade or something like that.
Bullshit! You did not. That girl
maybe even later.
Graduation.
Yeah, because we started her Instagram page when she got into her college, and I remember that. Oh my gosh, But
she was trying to figure out what to name it.
Yeah, we came up with the name together. Yeah, but let me tell you why. Because I grew on Instagram back in the day, like pretty big, right? Mm-hmm. And I used to get some creepos, like some real creepos. Also, one time, so this is before DM, I went to search for something Beyonce, and when I say the biggest dick popped up, and I was looking for Beyonce. And from that point, I was like, my child. I get
like the hashtag. People do use popular hashtags.
Yes, they would use popular hashtags. Mm-hmm. Yes. And I was like, I could not. She cannot be on here.
That on Instagram by making sure that you can't let people tag you or use your hashtag.
Yes. So, but back in the day, it was Wild Wild West. So that was one reason that I didn't allow it. And then one time, it was this man who was like, I think you could almost call it like cyber stalking. This is when DM came around. He would send me a DM. It would be from the waist down. The worst thing about it was the toes, though. It wasn't even the parts in there. When I say never seen no feet like that, like why were his toenails so long and yellow?
You just got assaulted via social media. You're thinking about the toes.
And Carla, he did it like several times. I think this was before you could block people. Or something like that. And he would like change his name or something like that. Yeah. So I was like, she is not getting social media.
I don't know. Every time I have friends that tell me this, I don't know. No one sends me dick pics. I don't want them. I don't want them. Yeah. But not one?
No, not you don't want it. You don't want it. I never.
No, they don't want
that.
the problems with me because I'm gonna post it.
But yeah, that's why I didn't give it to her. But so she knew I had a page and a following because back in the day, like I used to love Instagram. She actually used to take a lot of my pictures. Like
you had cameras.
Shout out to Michaela. She used to have my Canon camera, like taking my picture. I would get on this little step ladder. She put her on this little step ladder and she would take my pictures. And
now she's taller than you.
Yeah, now she's taller than me. So she would like take my pictures and stuff. And like she would show her friends at school because they had phones and like social media. And she would be like, oh, look, like this is my mom's page. And as soon as I figure, they'll comment like, hey, Miss Dexty, block, love you, but block. Right? Because I didn't want them on my page. But
what spoke to me so highly of you and her was how she obeyed.
Yeah, no, she didn't.
I felt so bad for Michaela.
But we were butting heads, I want to say, when she was like 15, 16, because she went through this phase where she was like, I literally can't talk to my friends because they talk on social media. Mm-hmm. So we'd be at the lunch table, they having this conversation about stuff on social media.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I was like, you need new friends. You need better friends.
When I told Ayana she can't have Snapchat, she kept downloading it and deleting the app before she got home. But then she was mess up sometimes and forget.
She's just like you. She's just like you. You can't tell her nothing. She's like, just like you.
The way you mothered, your child listened to rules.
She did.
My child don't follow no rules. Yeah. None. I mean, yes, I don't follow any either.
But she's so funny now because now that she has a little Instagram, she wants me to post her like all the time. Or she'd be like, I posted and you didn't repost. I'm like, girl, like it don't work like that. Or she'd be like, it's National Daughter Day and you didn't post me. I'm like, I don't even be on Instagram like that. You need to cut it out.
So next National Daughter Day, she gotta be posted.
Yeah, she's gonna be. She will be posted because
she outside.
And I definitely owe my following to her since she was my photographer. They don't even know child labor. Speaking of child labor,
yes.
What are your thoughts on like the social media influencers or the YouTube influencers who post their whole page, their whole thing is about their family or just about their children?
It's a fine line, right? Because social media is work. Bro, like it is so much work. We have to prep for this. You have to shoot. You have to edit. You have to post. You have to hashtag. You have to make sure that it's edited in a way that it makes sense. So we have a few examples of different families that have the social media for us to kind of like dig a little bit to what that looks like. And I think one of the very positive pages that we've seen and no, for me has been Ariel. And I followed Ariel at first, not because of her children. It was her story of domestic violence. But then when I realized, oh, these kids are amazing. And the way she edits the things and the way she puts out her content, and they really are like that in real life. Yeah. But she makes sure that she puts out a lot of her kids' content, but she also saves a lot of the content. You don't really know 100%, although it feels like you do. A lot of it is funny, certain scenarios, certain chats, but it's not their entire life. So I really do love the way she does it. And then you have another woman that does the same thing.
Before I mention Nara, like for Ariel, even though her page is a family page, I love that, like, one, you can tell it's not scripted, right? Like she's being real, but like she's also not like putting the camera in their face and like forcing them to do stuff. They're just like living life and you're getting some clips about it. And I really appreciate that because it doesn't feel like her kids are like working.
Oh, like the social media.
Yeah, exactly.
Skits all the time.
Exactly. Yeah. They just living their life. The camera happened to be on. They happen to be getting paid for it.
You don't even see when she has the camera on.
Exactly.
That's around, one thing. Caught 10 hours of content and you're like, when was your camera out?
Exactly.
That's a little BTS about Ariel. You don't even see her.
Right. What I like about Nara is like
Nara, what's her name?
Her name's Nara Smith. She's on TikTok. She's really big. I don't necessarily follow her. I see her content from time to time. But what I'll say, not like what I respect about Nara is like she's first a mom, right? But she likes to post this cooking content and she's like cooking for her children. So
is she really cooking though?
That's what she told me she doing. But even though the kids are there, she don't show the kids' face.
She doesn't.
She does. The kids' face are always blurring out or like shown from an angle where you can't really see their face. So what's really cool is her followers or people who see her out in the wild, you'll see people like, oh my gosh, I saw Nara Smith today, and her kids will be with her and they will also be respectful and like block their face. Because it's amazing. One thing for like she has babies. So they can't say they can't consent to being on social media.
You know who does that as well? Bobby.
Yes,
Podcaster
yes,
Bobby,
yes,
she
yes.
never shows her kids. I've never seen anyone post her kids, not a TMZ. And she's big enough now for TMZ to pick up what she talks about. They don't post her children. And she gets a lot of backlash for that. Where are your kids? No. But then the second you post them, it's a problem about what you're posting, what they're wearing, what they look like, what they say, what they don't say.
And people are crazy on social media. They will criticize your parenting. They will criticize your kids. Like, they'll have issues in school about what someone did or didn't see on social media. Right. So, like, for me, like, I have to keep that, or I decided to keep that boundary there.
Those are two families that I think are doing it right when it comes to social media. There are boundaries. There is just enough content. Like for Ariel, Terrell doesn't like to be on camera much. He's not a big talker. You don't see him much.
Exactly.
You see more like she takes pictures of him and like posts like how his progress, but he's not on there like having conversations because he doesn't really talk much. He's just like, leave me alone.
And that's the older one?
No, he's one of the middle ones.
See? Because she respects his boundaries.
Oh no, Andre loved the camera. Exactly. Andre loved the camera. He is a comedian. He loves that. So if they love it and they're having fun with it, she goes for it. Yeah. When they don't want to, then you don't have to. Yeah. Nara, I came into seeing her a couple of months ago, and it was not about her kids. I actually have never seen the blurred out. Yeah, I just get I'm impressed, but also annoyed by her.
With what she cooks?
Yes, and what she's wearing. And then she's like, okay, there was this
I think it's so cool.
There was this one video where she was like, my kids are outside. And she talked like this. My kids are outside playing, and they asked me for a Capri Sun. So I said, I'll be right back with your juice. Here I am making a Capri Sun from scratch. And she starts cutting the entire garden of fruits and juicing them and then putting them in pouches with the straw. Yeah. I'm like, girl, shut up.
I think she's being a little funny with it, right? Because I think it's like, I forget the type of humor it is, but like one time she said her kids asked for gum.
And she made them gum.
She made gum, but it literally will take you like a day to make gum. So like they didn't ask for gum and you gave it to them the next day.
Like that really is satire.
Yeah, I think it is too.
It is. But and she's killing it. She's killing it, and she found her niche, and it works because you're looking at it and you're like, shut the hell up.
Exactly.
But also I'm watching.
Yes.
It's like, why do you have this like couture dress on?
Because she's a model.
Yeah. So it just makes sense. And again, that just reminds me how social media, there's not one right way to do it.
No, there's not one right way to do it.
But
there's ways I don't agree with.
Correct. And there's no right way to do it, but there's a very wrong way to do it. And that's when we step into the Ruby Franke story. Yeah. There's actually a podcast on Wondery about it, the Ruby Franke story. But if you haven't heard of them, there was a big YouTuber called, the YouTube page was called 8 Passengers. It was her, Ruby Franke, her husband, and their 6 kids. So basically they rose to fame through vlogging, and she would vlog just their everyday lives from waking up. So it was very regular. Like people would get to know them and their 6 kids. And it was great during that time. So she would just document their life, their daily routines and all like that. Then she had a very strict parenting style. So she was teaching about her parenting style, how she would use different techniques and how she would discipline them. Some people started criticizing a little bit, but she's like, this is the way I teach my kids, is what we do at home. There was a little bit of like back and forth.
She would discipline them on camera.
Correct.
Yeah.
She would definitely discipline them on camera. Then but at this point, it was okay. People were criticizing some things, but they're like still really invested into their life. Then it became really strict views where if you acted out, you wouldn't eat. Crazy. There was one time when one of the teacher's parents called the house and they're like, hey, she doesn't have her lunch today. And she's on the camera saying, well, her teacher called and she didn't pack her lunch. She knew she lost to pack her lunch. So I told you, do not feed her anything. No lunch for her since she forgot her lunch and left her hungry. Another time she sent her son, then when it gets like a little bit more strict and extreme views, she sent her oldest son, he was quote unquote having some issues, off to some camp to live in the woods for like weeks at a time. I think it was months.
Wow.
Actually, I think it was 2 months. By the time they saw him 8 weeks later, and he was like, and it was like, to just help him. You need to be better and responsible and a better person. It got really weird. And then there were these allegations of abuse. So the abuse started coming in when they started to shift in her content, and she met this woman called Jody, and she was a therapist supposedly, and it was with her and her husband. And I really do think this therapist saw how big her following was and attached herself to her and brainwashed her. But that doesn't change the fact that you were abusing your children. One of the kids, I believe he was 12 years old at the time. He was at some point escaped, and they were living in like cages or in a room. And they released in that podcast the call of the neighbor, And it was so chilling. It literally gave me chills because the guy's trying to explain how bad the child looked and he choked up. He couldn't believe what he was looking at.
That's
so
terrible.
It was just in 2023 when they went to, like, it was a legal case. They were arrested on aggravated child abuse. And the whole downfall went from there. Like, the vlog crumbled. But I think what happened there, it was the overexposure of these children and the love of the money and the attention.
That's terrible. Is she in jail?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah. And I can absolutely see how it was some type of manipulation from that other person. But at the end of the day, you're a mom first, bro. When do you protect your children? So speaking of that just happened in 2023. Today, as I was driving here, there was an article on ABC. And it was the daughter of Ruby Franke. And she's now speaking to lawmakers about the dangers of parents making money off online posts about their children. So I had to send some of my friends real quick and be like, hey, your money, they're trying to make some laws. You got to figure, go speak over it. Say that was that white lady, not you. That was the white woman doing that to their kids. The black parents ain't doing that.
Yeah.
But there should be some type of law.
There should. I might be wrong, but I think when it comes to like child actors, their parents, there is a law where their parents have to set aside a certain amount, and they can't touch it, they can't access it until they're like an adult, because back in the day, so many children were being exploited through acting. They made all this money while acting, but they're like broke when they get older because
there's a law for it now. Money.
I'm pretty sure there's a law around
y'all can
like child labor.
Put it in the comments if we right or wrong.
No need to fact check.
I got it right here.
Okay?
Don't you tell me I'm wrong.
No, I'm pretty sure.
It's fine. We'll go with it. And if it's not a law, it should be.
Yeah, and I think that would be like the right type of law there. Where
for money?
Yeah, for money-wise. But then you still,
but if it's family-based, you're in it too, so there's a loophole there, right?
Yeah. A percentage.
Yeah, I can see that. It's just back to motherhood. As mothers, we should know that the protection of our children comes first. Yeah, we can't be oblivious to the fact that there are predators out there looking at our kids. Be careful. You know what one of my biggest pet peeves is? When people post their kids with their uniform and the school shows.
Showing the school.
Are you stupid?
Yeah.
You stupid.
Yeah, I don't even post where I'm at until I leave.
No, it's really being careful on how much we expose them, predators, and just also checking in with your kids. And it's like, are you okay with you being on social media?
Yeah.
And the way that I'm portraying you.
For sure. Especially as they get older, when their friends can also see that stuff and ask them questions and stuff. Like I think about on TikTok, there's this really big creator. Her name is Peach McClintyre or something like that. Her thing is like she has 7 kids or 8 kids or something like that. So she'd be like, my husband and my 8 kids. She shows her kids, but her and her husband like have a lot of drama. Like he'll be cheating on her and like she will be like getting evicted from places and stuff. And one of her children is in like high school or middle school, right? And like with them being so big on social media, like his friends are gonna come across that. Like
the fact that they're getting evicted.
Yeah, like that's hard.
Yeah, that probably shouldn't be done.
No. I feel like you should, if you're gonna be posting about your husband cheating and you getting evicted, I feel like you should protect your kids from like actually their actual identities being shown there.
Yeah, yeah, stuff like that for sure. I mean, yeah. I've never asked Ayana, which is crazy. I've never asked her about how she feels about me sharing like my story whenever I share it. But also I told her she's not allowed to listen to my podcast. So I'm not sure if she follows.
She's not allowed to listen to the podcast? Do you think? Well, I feel like if Ayana is like you, whereas she won't hold back. So I feel like if she listened and she had a problem with something,
she would have said something.
Yeah, she's also like not a good liar.
Terrible.
So even if it was
as much as she lies, she's so bad.
It would have casually came out if she heard something, even if it was good. Like she would have been like, "Oh, like you said that one time."
Yeah, because you know what, she'd be like, I block her from my stories all the time, and then she'll say something that I know she watched the story, and I'm like, "What you watching it on?" Oh, so you watching my stories? Like, what are you doing? Bad, terrible lies. Lies all the time, but terrible lies. And she would have told me. So I make sure that she. I don't know. I mean, there are some topics on this podcast that we're going to have that I'm going to talk to her about.
Yeah, me too. So when it comes to like Michaela seeing me on social media now that she has a page, like what I'm balancing now is I'm a grown woman.
Grown as fuck.
If I want to steal a bottle out of the club and mention it on my story, I'm going to do that. If you get secondhand embarrassment, that's on you, shawty.
Wait. She was embarrassed about that?
I don't know. But that's what I was thinking the next morning. Like, oh. She actually didn't say anything about it, but that went through my mind. But it's like, this is a part of like you living for you. And like, I'm not going to go wild out, like play with my coochie online.
We put that on close friends.
But like, I'll put that on close friends. But like at the same time, like I can't be worried about like what she thinks about what I'm doing. So now, she's on social media now and she's going to see something. She's going to see that I'm a whole person. I'm not perfect. I make
Have you guys had that conversation?
About me being a whole person? We have had that conversation recently.
No, you're not.
Like we was talking about like the fact of who I chose as her father. I'm a whole person. I make mistakes. Okay.
I need you.
I don't live the life.
That.
Yes, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Yeah, that's my baby daddy. Yep.
Damn. I have to have that.
So yeah.
See, with Ayana, with her dad, it's like,
Yeah.
He's not a bad person. With Psalm Daddy, I gotta have the conversation with him. Son, my bad.
Yeah. But I painted it as far as like you a whole person too, and you're gonna make some decisions and do some things that like I don't necessarily agree with or that I wouldn't do. But we gotta
for when she's our age or they're our age and they see the boyfriends they were in love with.
I know, right?
Them ugly at behind boys you thought it was gonna be your last one. Has she had a crush yet?
Yeah, she's had some crushes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's had some crushes.
We'll leave it there.
Yeah. Nothing serious, but yeah, she's had crushes.
All right, so to really close out the social media thing is if you are on social media, because the years keep progressing or keep moving along and the digital world is where we are. It's not going back. As much as we want to be like back in the 80s and the 90s when we were, shut the fuck up. I can't stand the back in the day 90s, people.
But okay. I can't tell you what happened in the 80s, but yeah.
Yeah. No, seriously. But here we go. Back in the day or in my day, our days don't matter anymore. They shaped us to be who we are today, but then we have to evolve. We have to grow. We have to become the people. And there's an evolution that happens and keep with the times. So we have to evolve into social media. Period, point blank.
Period, point blank. Social media is here. So what now?
How I did that? I like that. I like that. So what now? Put the content out.
Exactly.
Do the video.
Yeah.
Go live. Who cares if it's 5 people in there? Post the picture. Talk about your business.
Is she talking to me?
Do your podcast. I got you. I did launch podcast.com. I'll launch after you. But no, do all of those things because you have no choice at this point in time. Unless you work for the government. And that's what your career is. If you're trying to grow some type of business, some type of following, you have to post. And you can also use social media with a private page with 10 followers to just look.
Yeah.
That's a possibility too. And that could be your life. Thank you for watching the show.
Exactly.
Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for buying merch. Thank you for all of those things. But if I'm talking to you, you feel it in your heart. Some people feel it. It's like, I want to do something different. I want to have a side hustle. Social media is something you're going to have to do, period.
Yeah.
So do so and then just be aware that there are creeps. There's a positive and negative side to everything.
Yeah.
So just don't go the Ruby Franke way. Don't go that way. Don't go that way.
Let's get into like our womanhood segment. Let's talk about evolving and our friendships and our relationships through motherhood and like how those have to change and
so different
and what those look like. So for me right now, what I'm dealing with motherhood is all my friends have little kids. I don't know how this happened, but like all of them have little children. Like
I'll tell you how it happened.
Like they are like 5 and under. Like all my good friends.
You're right. Alma also has babies.
Yes, she has babies. 5 and under. Just started kindergarten, the oldest. And now I like my kids out of the house.
I'm sorry.
And I'm ready to go outside at the drop of a dime. And you guys are like, I got to get a babysitter. So my friends don't have as much freedom. So I'm like, my friendships have to like evolve and I have to be understanding and like make time like and make space for like, hey, I'm going to go to Puerto Rico with you and some. If that's how we got to get the trip, that's how we get the trip.
I'll bring the babysitter.
Right?
No, he ain't coming back again. Like, babysitter, nah. They're staying in a different resort next time. I learned that lesson. That's crazy because you're now navigating life like a childless person.
Exactly.
So you have to
when everybody my age has children.
So does this mean that now you have to find childless friends?
Yes, but that's hard to find.
Yeah.
That's hard to find.
Because you're 40. You're not old. You're not young. but you're not old. So you're not trying to hang out with a 60-year-old that their kids are already like out because they had their kids later. You're not trying to hang out with a 25-year-old with no kids because that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Not even just friendships. Like if I'm out here dating, like I don't want to date anybody with a small child. Like I would prefer their children be adults. So that puts me at dating like 50 and up for the most part.
They're the ones that ready to pay these bills.
Okay. But I wouldn't date anyone with a child like under the age of like less than a teen.
I can, but okay, we'll go into the dating and who we'll date later. Let's not even go into there because we're going into friendships. But I remember feeling that way with Ayana. Once Ayana was able to stay home by herself, then I had friends with younger kids and stuff like that. Now with Psalm, I have to have friends that understand that I'm not on my phone all the time, that my phone really do stay on D&D.
Just call twice, you'll get through.
No, you won't. What she doesn't know is that she's on the get through list. So she doesn't experience the frustration that others experience when I see 8 missed calls and I'm like, not one of them rang more than once.
But Carla, most people do not disturb like during a certain segment of the day.
No.
Right. You leave it, it's always on.
Always. 24/7. But it's only 24/7 because Ayana can get through. You can get through. My assistant can get through. Anything outside of like my money or my children, you don't call me all the time.
Yeah.
Like I put Jenna through the other day because Jenna calls me seldomly.
Yeah.
So if she's calling me, she's trying to get through. And she won't keep me on the phone for a long time. So I have set people that I have it to come through but most of the time I don't want to talk on the phone. I'll open I'm on my phone all the time. But
I thought I did yet. Do not disturb.
Look at this. New podcaster.
Sorry. I thought I did do not disturb.
That was
I don't know how
a sugar daddy calling.
I wish. My bad.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
I don't think I've experienced too much of outside of Mandy, but y'all know Amanda. I was about to say her last name. I don't know why. Mandy B. She's the only friend that I have that's no, I'm lying. She's the only friend that I have that's childish and she's like, fuck them kids.
Yeah.
She's a total fuck them kids type person. But like May doesn't have any kids.
Yeah.
And when she's over, she's like, yeah, sure, he can come through.
Yeah.
Wendy is like the biggest tia. She's like, I'll keep him. There's Jenna sometimes I'm like, damn, I don't have him. She's like, oh, I'll come through. All of my friends, like I've called you at 4 a.m. and be like, come to the house.
Yeah. You're like, I gotta leave. I'm like, okay, well, I'll come over and keep him. I'll come over at 4:30 when you gotta leave in the morning and I'll take him to school. Like
I go drop him to school right away. Like Dex is not my friend that's gonna keep him all day. Dex will lose her mind. I remember when I left you with him, when I flew down to do an event. The diaper was on backwards. She was like, I don't know.
I've forgotten how to do all that. I have.
I forgot how to do it with him. I'm literally having a brand new baby.
Yeah.
So I don't remember anything. I don't remember putting a diaper on Ayana.
No, I don't.
I really don't remember. I don't remember her first steps. I don't remember any of that. Like off memory, if I have pictures, I'll be like, oh,
really
cute.
Think about it, yeah.
But I don't remember. But I've been blessed to have friends that are very understanding of my situation. But I also think I came into a situation rich as fuck.
Yeah, exactly. You got resources.
I can pay for a nanny or I can pay for a babysitter. But bro, babysitter is $20 an hour.
So expensive.
It is super expensive. I remember I went on a date with this guy a couple times, and that shit had to stop because clearly brokey. And the first 3 times I paid for the babysitter, it was costing me $150 to go out with him.
That's wild.
$150 for 3 days. After 3 days, I said, you haven't offered. Yeah, we staying at the house.
Yeah, no.
Let's hang out. Now we're gonna be friends.
Yeah.
Now we're just friends because I
don't even want to go.
No. It's very expensive, but Ayana is back home now. She does help tremendously. Yeah. So you are an adult. You get to live with mom, rent free, bills free. Like your money is your money, but I need your help with your brother.
Yeah.
So, but friendships definitely change at our age outside of even motherhood. Just I'm a different person now, period.
Exactly.
I'm not who I was 10 years ago. No. I'm not your friend that you're going to call me to go to the club.
No.
It takes me 5 to 7 business days to recover from the club and I ain't got time for that shit. Listen, I got a baby to wake up to.
Me and you have to we be like, okay, you know what? We're going to do it. We're going to do it. We make a plan to go to the club. We like, okay, so we're agreeing to go to the club tomorrow to support. It's usually to support somebody. It's not even like, oh,
it's an event.
Yeah, exactly. It's a big event. It's someone's birthday. It's to support somebody for like releasing something or something like that. And so we're like, okay, we're saying we're going to go. So let's keep our word. Okay, we can nap between this time and this time. We already know what we're going to wear. We got to start getting ready at this time. We're leaving at this time.
I literally, the days that I know we're planning to go out, I never take Adderall past like 8 a.m. I make sure I take my Adderall around 12, 1 o'clock. That way it lasts long enough for me to stay up because I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm older. Like, I like my sleep. Yeah. And I really enjoy being home, bro.
Yeah. I love it.
Obsessed.
It takes a big thing to get me out the house.
Ooh, I gotta love you to leave.
I gotta love you to leave.
Or money. And I love money. I love my little ching-ching.
I'm not leaving for no penis. I'm not leaving my house. You can come over here real quick.
What?
No.
My bed is perfectly fine.
My bed is perfectly fine.
Like, Psalm has no idea what's going on in his sleep.
Yeah, now that I think about it, I will leave. I'll leave to hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
Like, I value that. Like, I'll leave to go to your house.
I was going to say, when we go to my house, we're just hanging out on the couch.
We're just hanging out on the couch.
Now, it's about to get cool. My outside area is, like, getting even cozier. I cannot wait. Like, that's my hangout spot right now. Like, I'm actually thinking about buying, like, a little bar for back there. I'm not leaving my house, but I think that's what we're supposed to do as we get older.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, actually, like, that's actually exactly what I need out of friendships in this stage in my life. Like, someone who's on the same page as far as, like, what is fun to me, what brings me joy.
Oh, love it.
Yeah, like, let's just sit in the house. Let's, like,
let's
make
watch
a charcuterie
movie.
board. Let's watch a movie.
Charcuterie
yes!
board. I love your charcuterie board. Oh, my God, with the good cheese and the wine.
Let me just stop by real quick. I can wear my sweats over to your house. Like, no big deal. Like,
this is making me like tingle. I ain't gonna lie to you because I'm like, can we do this weekend? Let's have a charcuterie day. Yeah. And this is stuff like when I think of having events for women, like as we are growing the show, and it's like, and y'all let me know in the comments or DM us or whatever. I would love to do like a pajama party. Yeah. Just like when I did my retreat here in Orlando, I got a big house. Yeah. It was like 15 of us or 10. I don't remember how many of us it was, but we got to watch movies. We did yoga in the house. We just hung out at home, cozy, fun. We went one out for dinner. We turned up at a cool place and come back home.
Yeah. I love that. I love that.
So if you are not able to respect that about me now, we're just not on the same page.
Yeah, we're not. But also, like, as a mother, one thing that's hard to balance is, like, even though it's hard, you do need friendships. So it's important to, like, still make your friends a priority.
Yes.
And you guys have to work together to figure out, like, what that looks like. Like, an example of, like, okay, I'm making you a priority, but that don't mean I'm going to the club with you every weekend. Like, you're sad. I'm going to come sit at your house with you for a little while. Like, I'm going to, okay, I will go to the club with you this night, or we can do this one thing together. Like, we can do this book club thing or whatever it is. Or if to see you, you have to have your baby. Like, I don't want you to have to get a sitter every time. I'm like, let's go hang out with the baby. Like, I feel like I'm in my auntie era right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? With, like, all my friends having babies, my nieces and nephews.
You pick up your niece sometimes.
Yes, I love chilling with my niece. Like, she tells me exactly what she wants to do. So, like, I'm actually, like, loving the auntie vibe. She's so funny. She's like, auntie, are you rich?
Yes, I am.
Because I be taking her to the dollar store and stuff. Like, basically, every time I see her, we buy something. So I guess she's the rich one. So she's like, I said, no, I'm not. She's like, but I want to call you my rich auntie. I said, I'm okay with that.
You didn't tell her you're rich. She needs to believe you're rich.
She's 7, okay?
Yeah, but I want her to see you as, like, I want to be just like her, rich like my auntie. Because you are. And I think sometimes rich isn't even just in the monetary part of it.
Rich in freedom, rich in options.
Rich in friendships.
Rich in joy. Yes, exactly.
I feel wealthy when it comes to my friendships.
Yes.
Wealthy. Sure. Like, you could, like, what's his name? It's Warren
Buffett?
Buffett. That's the old white man, right?
Look at us. Sap I told you, it's up here.
I was going to say Sap. And Sap
is the fact check. It's Warren Buffett.
So I'm like the Warren Buffett of friendships.
Yeah.
I have the most amazing friends, and I compartmentalize friends as well.
I do too.
Every friend is not for everything.
No. And like, some friends I don't cross friend.
No. For what?
That's so,
actually, I pretty do. I put all my friends together.
You do. You cross friend.
All my friends
cross friend a lot. Like, Addie's one of my besties. She's local. You've probably hung out with Addie on one hand. But y'all get along fine.
I love Addie.
But I don't know why I don't cross friend a lot. But I've made so many friends through you.
Mm-hmm. I put it right together. Let's just go hang out.
I love me some Jenna. I love me some Janine.
Janine's the best.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, they're all amazing. I feel like I have a certain standard when it comes to friendships.
Yeah.
And I can't have a super needy friend. I forget everything due to my ADHD. So don't be upset because I didn't answer the phone or I didn't call you back, especially now with a baby.
Yes, exactly.
I already forget things no matter what. So
you're so lucky you have me. Sometimes, like, I'm such a low maintenance friend. You're welcome. You'll call me. You'll be like, I'll pick up the phone and you'll be like yelling something in the background of something. You'll be like, I forgot why I called you. It's okay. And we'll just talk about something else and let each other go.
I just forget. Like, and we'll talk about this later on, the fear that I have about Alzheimer's for no reason. I don't know anyone in my family with it. It's not a genetically thing, but I just forget things so often. I'm like, damn, that was really a life.
What do you think that is? We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But I am grateful when you are like, low maintenance doesn't even describe how low maintenance of a friend you are, but so rich at the same time. Like with my friendship with
you're like, there's certain things where I'm like, I gotta do this with Carla. You know what I mean? Like this is for me and Carla. Like this is a Carla thing for me. Like I have so much fun with you, and I feel like we've built our friendship.
Yeah, this is like a decade worth of friendship. Yeah.
Because like
intentional.
We always talk about how like we had like our little, like we butt heads with that, like the thing about like the one argument we had. But I think that you didn't have those situations with like your friends before.
Them messy ass bitches, they would have been told me that. What he doing what?
Yeah, that's why I say like going back to the beginning, like with your worry. I don't know. I feel like we built something strong. I don't want what a wood at first to knock on, but like I feel like we've built something to where like this is a built friendship. Like
consistently built. And again, we have to be proactive.
Yeah. And you tell me when I'm fucking up, and I tell you when I'm fucking up. And even though a lot of times it's like, so what, bitch? I'm fucking up. I'm gonna keep fucking up.
But I think like, we're not up each other's ass.
We still love each other through that, and we don't judge each other.
We have our own lives. Like you hang out with your little white coworkers or whatever.
I told you I'm cross friends because oh my God, I can imagine you. Oh my God.
And first of all, one of her coworkers, I went to like school. Oh, I would probably get you fired.
You would totally get me fired. You would not make it in corporate.
So
America,
Dex is Tina at work.
Why you telling my tea?
And she Dex outside. She brown when she's Dex. She's white when she's Tina.
Listen, let me tell you, a couple times I was out with my coworkers at happy hour downtown. And
somebody recognized you?
Yeah. And they'd be like, Dex, what up? And they'd be like, Tina? And they're like, yeah, it's nothing.
I ain't gonna forget the one time he was because she got Dex, she got Tina, and then she got her childhood nickname.
Listen, it's
abort mission.
Every episode you gotta spill my tea.
Okay, yes. Because you ain't been around for so long.
I do have a lot of names though.
So just like that, I'm walking down the street with her downtown. She's Dex to me. I know she's Tina at work. It's cool. She's a city girl. But I also know that Dex's background, she comes from like, Orlando. Yeah. Like the real Orlando. You know what I mean? Not Disney World. She comes from the real Orlando. So we walking down the street and somebody was screaming, "Hey, yo, Puka!" We walking. We keep moving. And Puka! And she is pretending it was like her demeanor changed, like, let's walk faster. And I said, I think they talking to you. Puka? That's what and she avoided telling me her nickname growing up.
That's my childhood nickname. And I told y'all I'm from Florida.
407 Chopper City.
Yes, that's what they used to call me. That was my Facebook. Speaking of going back to social media. That was my Facebook name.
No, it wasn't.
It was Pukalicious. Because back then, the Fergalicious song was popular.
So Pukalicious, ghetto. Love it. She was you were a city girl. I think you still are like
a little
deep
bit.
Inside.
A little bit.
She know all JT songs.
I do.
She know all the words.
But I love that we're friends, and I love that we are figuring out how to like navigate our relationships through all the milestones that we've had, through the different ways that we've evolved, and through changing our mind or our outlook on different things. Like I appreciate that about you, and I just hope that like we can have more friendships like that, and this can continue.
Yeah, and if you're listening to this and you're probably like, fuck, I don't have that yet, or my friend, it's okay to let go of friends.
It's okay to let go of friends if they are not serving you in your current stage in life.
So I recently broke up with a friend of 30 plus years. Mm-hmm. And that was hard, but we weren't interacting a lot and I didn't see her a lot. So that was a friendship that I didn't feel so much. It sucked. And as I was doing it, it took me months to do so. And I was thinking about it when I finally was like, this is what I have to do just for myself. Yeah. But there's also ways that you can just kind of back up.
Yeah. From friends. Yeah. It can, your friendship can evolve and look different.
Me and Carla.
As you grow in life, yeah.
Carla and I will always stay. I mean, Carla is younger, but we were always together. And then she was more like into the we were just leading different lives. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that if I called Carla and Carla called me, she's like, come to the birthday party, I'm there. If I'm like, hey, help me with something, she's there. If she needs help, like I'm there. But it can change. It can shift how that friendship goes.
Yeah. The crazy thing is Michaela's dealing with the first like episode of that right now in her life. Now that she's like in college, she has some people who like went to the same college as her, and I ain't gonna spill her tea, but like I see her having some challenges, and what I'm telling her is like, I think she sees that I have some childhood friendships from like 6th grade and stuff, and she valued that because that's what she saw, right? And she sees me have a long-term relationship with you even through meeting you late in life, and so she feels like you're supposed to keep your friends, right? And I'm like, actually, like friendship can change, and not everybody can come with you, or you might not have to be as close with somebody. So like, you know, watch how this person is moving, right? And like you're gonna have to make a choice.
But also, if you find yourself changing friends every year, bitch, you the problem.
Okay,
you the problem, and I need you to go to therapy. BetterHelp.com.
Are you gentle parenting the listeners?
I sure am, because sometimes we're not self-aware of certain things. Like you need to be self-aware of the fact, like if you're constantly falling out with people or having some conflict, look inside, and it's okay to look inside especially with friends, because if you can't do it with a friend, you can't do it in a relationship.
No, you can't.
So start with your friends, and when you're building strong friendships, then probably romantic will come. But don't forget about these friendships that you built with romantic, because these niggas will cheat on you.
Yes,
and they're gonna do you dirty. And then you gotta fall back on your friends, and if you ignore them, then you ain't got no friends to go back to. So you gotta go into the toxic friend.
Okay, and so now that Carla is done mothering, you guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up with our feel good of the week. So you mentioned earlier, like the weather's been so beautiful in Florida these last couple of days. Has been so nice. And like for me, work has been crazy. And so one thing that makes me feel good is going outside for a walk. So I've been being very intentional about blocking time on my calendar and going for like a little 15-minute walk in the middle of the day.
That's so
closing my day after work with going for a walk. And it just feels so good. It just like, it's crazy how it like clears my mind. It helps me with creativity. Like I'll be thinking about stuff for the podcast while I'm walking. It just makes me feel so much lighter, and I'm more productive when I come back to work after I've had that like mental break of walking. So I encourage you ladies to get out and walk. I'm not asking you to speed walk. I'm not asking you to walk a marathon or a mile or anything like that. Just like a quick little like 10-minute break throughout the day. Now I'm up to 2.5 miles a day and I love it, but like start slow.
I love that. You had me walking for a little bit.
Yes.
But the heat broke out my face.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
but now is the perfect time to get back to
cooler. It. And it was nice. I'll put my headphones on, walk with the baby. Like if you have kids, like me, she walking by herself with a white lady hat on. Looks gorgeous with her little shorts and her looking like a baddie. Someone might have spilled a little Chef Boyardee on me. The outfit ain't that cute, but the stroller is rolling. Yeah. And, you know, I'm out there, and it does feel good to just, sometimes I'm very intentional about looking at like the trees or the birds. I'm like, I don't pay attention to outside ever. I'm on my phone and the computer.
Walking will make you stop and do that.
And it'll make you look like her too, if you do it consistently.
We love you guys. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of So What Now? We'll catch you guys next week.
Goodbye.